They tried to hide just how insane this gets. A man launched his personal car into permanent orbit around the sun just to flex on the entire human race. Another man accidentally invented a new category of human stupidity when he paid $44 billion for an app and overpaid by $19 billion on purpose. And somewhere at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, 2 miles deep, where the pressure crushes steel like paper, a billionaire was already planning his next move. None of this is metaphor. All of it happened. And the most disturbing purchase on this entire list wasn't a yacht, wasn't a rocket, and wasn't a diamond-covered supercar. It was a piece of paper that cost one man $76 billion in a single afternoon. Join us, and let's discover the most stupidly expensive things billionaires have ever bought. Let's go.
Number 13. Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita. Most billionaires buy diamonds and put them in a vault. Jeff Bezos went ahead and fused them directly into the body of his car. The Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita is coated in over 1 million microscopic white diamonds. It looks less like a vehicle and more like a weapon designed by something that doesn't have a concept of money. Only 3 were ever manufactured. 3. In the entire history of civilization. Bezos owns one of them. The price tag was $4.8 million. To put that in perspective, $4.8 million is enough to buy a full street of houses in most American cities, and Bezos spent it on a car he almost certainly doesn't drive to pick up groceries. The name Trevita translates to 3 whites in Swedish, a quiet nod to just how few of these exist. It doesn't sit in a museum. It sits in a garage packed with other equally unhinged vehicles, waiting for the day Bezos decides to pull it out just to remind himself that the laws of normal human life don't apply to him. But a diamond-coated supercar barely gets you a seat at this table, because what comes next starts pushing into territory that most people can't even conceptualize.
Number 12. Del Curry Raptors jersey. Most people buy a jersey to support a team. Drake bought one specifically to psychologically dismantle a human being. Before Game 1 of the 2019 NBA Finals, Drake wanted to get deep inside the skull of Golden State Warriors star Steph Curry. So he tracked down one of the rarest basketball jerseys on the planet, a uniform worn by Steph's own father, Del Curry, during a brief 3-season stint with the Toronto Raptors. 3 seasons? That's such a small window that the jersey barely exists as a historical artifact. The original owner didn't want to sell it. Drake had to negotiate hard just to get a conversation. He paid $15,000. Then he wore it courtside, right in Steph's line of sight, with the name Curry stitched across the back, in Raptors colors. The message was surgical. Your own bloodline is on our side tonight. The Warriors lost that game. Then they lost the entire final series. Was it the jersey? Probably not, but Drake absolutely believed it was. He spent $15,000 on a psychological operation and watched it work in real time on the biggest stage in basketball. That's not a fan move, that's a general's move. And Drake was just getting started.
Only 1% of people know the dark truth behind what we are about to show you next. If you want to be part of the few who actually know what's happening in the world, subscribe and leave a like right now. Done? Look at this.
Number 11. Apollo F-1 rocket engines. 2 miles below the surface of the Pacific Ocean, in total darkness, where the pressure would collapse an unprotected human body instantly, there are pieces of American history that most people forgot existed. The original F-1 engines from the Saturn V rocket, the same machines that burned 3 million pounds of thrust to blast the Apollo missions toward the moon, had been sitting on the seafloor since the late 1960s. Corroded, scattered, lost. Jeff Bezos found out they were down there, and he decided he needed them. He funded a full deep-sea expedition, deployed remotely operated submarines, and pulled the fractured remains back up from depths that make the Titanic look shallow. Then he spent millions more restoring them piece by piece. A single fully restored F-1 engine runs approximately $15 million. Bezos recovered multiple components, and then Here's where it gets strange. He donated them, all of it, to the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum. The man who is actively building his own rockets spent an undisclosed fortune salvaging the engines that made the original space age possible, brought them back from the dead, and handed them to a museum for the world to see. Whether that makes him generous or calculating depends entirely on how you think about legacy. Either way, he's the only private citizen in history who can say he personally rescued the Apollo program from the bottom of the ocean.
Number 10. Tupac Crown Ring. In the final weeks of his life, Tupac Shakur wore a specific ring to the 1996 MTV Video Music Awards, one of the last public appearances before he was shot and killed in Las Vegas just days later. The ring is engraved with Pac and Kada 1996, a reference to his girlfriend at the time. It didn't just represent a piece of jewelry. It represented the last version of Tupac the world got to see, still standing, still untouchable, hours before everything changed. When that ring went to auction, Drake didn't hesitate. He paid $1,002,000, officially setting the record for the most expensive hip-hop artifact ever sold at auction. $1 million for a ring that fits on one finger. Not for investment, not for display in a gallery. Drake bought it because Tupac is the reason he started rapping in the first place. The man who inspired the most commercially successful rapper alive is now permanently locked inside his collection. And Drake's obsession with Tupac doesn't stop at jewelry. Apparently, when guests sit down on his custom-heated toilet seats, Tupac's Hit 'Em Up starts playing on loop. Lil Yachty confirmed it's deeply uncomfortable. But paying $1 million for a dead man's ring? That's devotion at a frequency most people don't operate on.
Number 9. The 10,000-year clock. Jeff Bezos spent $42 million on a clock that you will never once use to check the time. Built into the solid rock face of a mountain in West Texas, the structure stands 500 feet tall, taller than the Great Pyramid of Giza. It does not show seconds. It does not show minutes. It shows years, decades, centuries. The clock ticks once every 12 months. It chimes once every 100 years. 5 secret chambers have been built into the mountain interior, each one programmed to unlock at a specific point across a 10,000-year span, if human civilization survives long enough to witness them. Think about that scale for a second. 10,000 years ago, agriculture had just been invented. There were no cities, no writing systems, no governments. Bezos built a machine explicitly designed to outlive every civilization currently alive on Earth. And this wasn't commissioned by a government or carved by a nation. One man decided the future deserved a monument, wrote a check, and started drilling into a mountain. The official name is the Clock of the Long Now. Bezos calls it a symbol of long-term thinking. Most people who hear about it feel a specific, quiet dread they can't fully explain. Both reactions make complete sense.
Number 8. Luna Luna Amusement Park. In 1987, one of the most genuinely bizarre art installations in human history shut down after legal and financial collapse, and then vanished into a storage facility in Texas for over 30 years. Luna Luna was an amusement park conceived in the 1980s where every single attraction was designed by a different world-famous artist. Jean-Michel Basquiat painted a roller coaster. Salvador Dali designed a carousel. Keith Haring built a ride covered in his iconic dancing figures. None of these were attractions you could comfortably ride. They were fever dreams given mechanical form, art installations disguised as entertainment. When the park folded, everything was crated up and left in a warehouse. For 30 years, these irreplaceable objects gathered dust in Texas while the world forgot they existed. Then he wrote a $100 million check to bring Luna Luna back to life. $100 million on an amusement park where nothing functions the way it should, and some of the structures look like they were sketched by a sleep-deprived child.
But Drake didn't buy it because it was functional. He bought it because it was unrepeatable. 3 decades of art history rotting in crates, and he decided it deserved a second life. When you have that kind of money, saving something lost is its own kind of power move.
Number 7. Codex Leicester. In 1994, Bill Gates walked into an auction and bought the single most expensive book ever sold, a 72-page notebook handwritten by Leonardo da Vinci in the early 1500s. The price was $30 million. That figure shattered every record ever set for a manuscript at auction. But the price isn't even the strangest part. Da Vinci wrote the entire notebook backwards, every single page, every single line, readable only when held up to a mirror. Whether that was a security measure, a personal habit, or a symptom of something darker in his psychology, 5 centuries of scholars have never fully agreed. The book contains Da Vinci's theories on water behavior, the movement of the Earth, the way light reflects off the moon, and the origin of fossils, all documented 500 years before modern science confirmed most of it. Gates digitized every page and distributed the contents publicly on CD-ROM so the world could see what he had bought. Today, the Codex Leicester is valued at over $130 million, meaning Gates turned a $30 million purchase into a $100 million profit without ever trying to sell it. Da Vinci wrote it for no one in particular. Gates bought it for everyone and made a fortune in the process without writing a single line.
Number 6. Xanadu 2.0. Bill Gates spent $130 million building a house that thinks, not smart home technology the way you're picturing it, something far more unsettling. When you enter Xanadu 2.0 in Medina, Washington, you are handed a small electronic pin to wear around your neck. That pin communicates with every room in the building. As you walk from space to space, the lighting, temperature, and music automatically adjust to your personal preferences in real time without a single button pressed. The walls are enormous screens that rotate through artwork and imagery throughout the day, functioning as a living gallery that never repeats itself. There is a trampoline room, a heated indoor pool, an artificial stream stocked with live fish running through the property, and outside, a private beach where the sand was imported from the Caribbean, because apparently the sand naturally occurring on the shores of Washington state was not acceptable. Gates also maintains round-the-clock security for a single specific tree on the property. No one has offered a complete explanation for why. The full construction cost sprawled across 2 decades and ultimately landed at $130 million, the exact same figure as the Da Vinci manuscript sitting inside it. One is 500 years old and contains the secrets of a genius. The other has a dedicated room full of trampolines. Gates bought both.
Number 5. Bezos super yacht. Jeff Bezos's yacht doesn't just float, it dominates the water around it. At over 400 feet in length, the Koru is the largest sailing yacht on Earth, and it moves entirely by wind, no engine. A vessel the size of a city block, silently cutting through open ocean, powered by nothing but air. The exterior looks like something that belongs in a spy thriller. The interior breaks the brain. There is a $10 million helicopter on board, which Bezos's partner Lauren Sanchez can fly herself. There is a submarine, a nightclub, a garage that travels with the yacht, carrying his supercars from port to port. And the entire vessel can be operated by a single person. On a boat, most navies would need a crew of dozens to manage. Annual maintenance costs run $25 million before a single person steps on board. The original purchase price was $500 million, $500 million for a boat. To measure that against something real, $500 million is roughly what the United States federal government spends on the entire food stamp program in a single week. Bezos spent that on a yacht so enormous that when he tried to sail it out of Rotterdam, the city had to temporarily dismantle one of its own historic bridges just to let it pass. The bridge came down. The yacht sailed through. That is the specific kind of power that $500 million buys you.
Number 4. OVO Diamond Necklace. Drake didn't build this necklace to show off money. He built it to document something far more personal and far more unhinged. The piece is structured around 42 diamonds, each one hand-selected, each one representing a separate woman he claims to have proposed to. The full setting is 351 carats of diamonds, mounted in 18-carat white gold. For reference, a standard engagement ring carries approximately 1 carat. This necklace is carrying 351 of them, stacked together into a single object that hangs around one man's neck as a monument to his own romantic history. The total cost was $12.5 million. $12.5 million to commemorate 42 proposals. Whether all 42 are literally true or a carefully constructed piece of personal mythology, the necklace is real, the receipt was real, and the math is genuinely disturbing. Drake's full jewelry collection, which includes the Tupac crown ring, a Frank Ocean chain featuring over 9,000 diamonds worn at the Met Gala, and a Jacob & Co. watch with a fully functional roulette table on the dial, totals approximately $50 million. He doesn't wear most of it. He holds it the way a museum holds a collection, not to use, but to own. And at the center of all of it, 42 stones sit quietly, each one the price of someone else's entire year.
Number 2. Tesla Roadster in orbit. On February 6, 2018, Elon Musk did something that no government, corporation, or human being had ever done in the entire history of civilization. He strapped his personal car to a rocket and launched it into space. Not a test payload, not a weighted dummy. His own cherry red Tesla Roadster, the one he had been driving personally, now travels in elliptical orbit around the sun at speeds exceeding 15,000 miles per hour. The car cost $100,000. The Falcon Heavy rocket carrying it cost hundreds of millions to develop. Musk live-streamed the launch, meaning the entire planet watched in real time as a mannequin nicknamed Starman sat in the driver's seat in a full SpaceX spacesuit. David Bowie's Space Oddity playing on loop through the speakers. The words "Don't Panic" displayed on the dashboard screen. Earth rotating slowly in the rear window. You can track the car's exact position right now at whereisroadster.com. As of today, that Roadster has traveled over 4 billion miles. It has completed multiple full orbits around the sun. Current projections place it in that orbit for tens of millions of years, long after every living human being is gone, long after the cities we built have crumbled. That car will still be out there. Musk's reaction to permanently losing a $100,000 vehicle to the vacuum of space? He bought another one. Because when you own the rocket company, the car is the cheap part.
Number 1. Melinda Gates' divorce settlement. Every item on this list was a choice, a deliberate act of power, ego, or obsession. A billionaire deciding to spend money because he wanted something and had the means to take it. Every single one. Except this one. In May 2021, Melinda Gates filed for divorce after 27 years of marriage. And because Bill Gates, one of the wealthiest human beings to ever exist on this planet, had never signed a prenuptial agreement, Melinda walked out of that marriage with $76 billion in a single legal transaction. $76 billion. Stack $100 bills to represent that number, and the pile climbs 51 miles into the sky, well past the boundary where Earth's atmosphere ends and space begins. It is more than the entire GDP of most countries. It is more than the combined net worth of the 20 richest people in the majority of the world. Gone. In one afternoon. The reported catalysts were Gates's repeated private meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, documented in flight logs and financial records, and a separate affair with a Microsoft employee, both of which became public in 2019. According to multiple sources, Melinda had warned Gates for years that his association with Epstein was a catastrophic mistake that would destroy everything. He didn't listen. And when she left, she didn't just take half. She took the largest single divorce settlement in documented human history.
The most expensive thing any billionaire in this video ever acquired wasn't a yacht, wasn't a rocket, wasn't a clock built to outlive civilization. It was the moment one of them stopped listening to the person who was right all along.
If you thought this was terrifying, you are not ready for what they found in the video on your screen. Click it right now. The truth is worse than you think.